this is Holly from Rubber Redneck. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and welcome to another Rubber Redneck video tutorial. First I want to say thanks for watching this video, and if you're new to my YouTube channel, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my awesome videos. If you like today's video and the fun technique I'm going to show you, be sure to smash that like button to help me out. And I also love hearing back from everybody, so if you want to leave a comment or if you have a question, feel free to do so and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Today's video is going to cover my November customer promotions. These are only good through me only. From November 1st to the 30th, 2016, when you place any order online through my Stampin' Up! Store, you will receive a package of the delicate white doilies. These are just gorgeous, and you get quite a few of these in here. And then for example, they do stick together, so there's like 5 of them stuck here together, so you want to make sure that you pull them apart when you go to use them so you don't accidentally put 5 together, so keep that in mind. And then you'll also receive this gorgeous hand stamped card in the mail from me. This is the card I'm going to be showing you how to create today, and anybody can create this card no matter what level of a stamper you are. It is so easy to do and so fun. One thing to remember, that when you place your Stampin' Up! Order with me, you want to make sure you do not select no contact. If you select no contact, I will not be able to contact you to make sure everything's okay in your order. I won't be able to send you your free goodies. Basically, cannot contact you. So make sure you do not select no contact when you check out. Another thing to note too is right now Stampin' Up! Has an awesome sale going on called Online Extravaganza. It is from November 21st to November 28th. And there is a select amount of product that has been discounted and is only while supplies last. So be sure to head over to my blog, rubberredneck.typepad.com, to find out all the details about my promotions and Stampin' Up! Sale that is going on right now as well. I'll also email you a mini PDF on this project as well if you place an order through my Stampin' Up! Online store. It's only available that way. Another little thank you for your support. So now to create this gorgeous card, I am using the stamp set called Picture Perfect from our main catalog. And then I also paired it with the Timeless Texture stamp set. Now here it is snow on the ground. So I wanted the roses to have like snow covered, like a little splash of snow, and then have a little splash of snow look on the leaves. So I'm going to show you how to do this here in a second. It's really easy to do. Now to get your card base, you want to cut one piece of Whisper White cardstock at 4 1/4 by 11 inches. Once you have that cut, you're going to place it onto the Simply Scored scoring tool and score at 5 1/2. Once you have that scored, you're going to need your bone folder. You're going to fold your cardstock on that scored line and then run your bone folder over the scored line, creasing that down and creating your card base. That is how easy it is to make a card base. So you're going to set that aside for a minute. You want to cut one piece of Pacific Point cardstock at 4 inches by 5 1/4. Then you want to cut 2 pieces of silver glimmer paper, and we're going to cut them at 1/4 inch by 4 3/4. And then these pieces we're going to set aside for a second. Then you want to cut one piece of Whisper White cardstock at 3 3/8 by 4 3/4. Then once you have this cut, you're going to stamp onto this Whisper White cardstock. And I recommend for this, because we're going to be doing a fun technique, you're going to want a piece of grid paper. And Stampin' Up! Sells this awesome grid paper. I love this paper. And it's just for stamping on. It works great. It also has like a measurement, a little ruler down here. I love that too about it. So we're going to stamp on this, and you're going to want your little stamp from Timeless Textures with the little square pattern on it. And then you're going to want the Marina Mist ink pad. And we're going to tap our stamp into the ink pad, and then you're going to stamp off onto your scratch paper, and then you're going to stamp onto the Whisper White towards the bottom. And then we're going to keep stamping without re-inking it, and it's going to get lighter as we go. And as I stamped, I shifted it to the right. Now I'm going to come back and go to the left and stamp again, creating this really fun pattern. And like I said, as you go, it's going to get lighter and lighter. Once you have that stamped, then you want your Tempting Turquoise ink pad. And we're going to make like these little dots that kind of look like little snowflakes to me, with these little dots. And you're going to take that Tempting Turquoise ink pad, and you're going to tap that in the ink pad, stamp off, and we want to stamp off just one time. And then you're going to stamp down here in the bottom left corner. And then without re-inking this, you're going to stamp again to the right, and then you're just going to keep stamping, working your way up. You can stamp as many times as you want on there. Super easy to do. Then we're going to take the greeting stamp from Picture Perfect, and I'm using Just a Note. And what you want to do is place this onto your grid paper, and we're going to use the line on the grid paper. This is a really easy and fun way to make sure you get your stamp straight on your block. And I know I show this every time, but in case somebody's new, that's why I want to show it, because I think this is just an awesome little trick to share. Then you're going to take your clear block, and you're just going to press straight down onto it, and it'll stick right to your block. Then you want your Tuxedo Black Memento Ink pad, and we're going to ink the stamp right into the ink pad. And when we stamp onto the Whisper White cardstock, we're going to stamp on the right side but leave a little bit of a space here. Just stamp right onto your Whisper White, and then see, it's perfectly straight. How awesome is that? Then we're going to take one of those tea lace, one of those delicate doilies, white doilies, excuse me, and you're going to cut that in half and save the other half for another project, and then we're going to glue this right to the Whisper White cardstock here on the left side. So since these were my promotion this month, I wanted to show you a way to use those right away when you get those in the mail from me, so you'll have an idea how to use them right off the bat. Then we're going to take the silver glimmer paper that we cut earlier, and we're going to glue one of them piece strips to the Pacific Point cardstock. And I'm just going to start on the left side, and we're going to go in a little bit from the side and make sure there's the space at the top and the bottom. And if you put too much glue on like I just did, just wipe that up right away. Then you want to take the Whisper White cardstock, and we're going to glue this on the left side here to start out with. So don't put glue all the way across the back. Flip this over, line this up so everything is nice and straight and even, and tack that down. Then you want to take that other piece of silver glimmer paper, and we're going to glue this to the Pacific Point under the Whisper White. And we're just going to kind of slide this in, and that's why you didn't want to glue this down. And then this way you get it all evenly spaced out so it looks nice. That's how easy that is to do. Cool, right? And it adds so much to it. And by using a little strip, fun little trick there, so you don't use a lot of that awesome paper up that you would end up covering up. Then once you have that part done, we're going to attach this to the front of that card base. So you're just going to want some stamping dimensionals and flip that right over. Then you want to just attach that to the front of your card base. Then you want to cut 16 inches of the basic black metallic thread. And you're going to need a glue dot for this. And you want to just put a glue dot here on the left side on that doily. kind of up a little bit. And then we're going to make some loops. So just secure that to that glue dot and start making your loops. You can make them as big as you want, as small as you want. I just want to make sure that when I put the flowers on here that you're going to kind of see the metallic thread. And then make sure you secure your end there to the glue dot. Now we're going to create these gorgeous flowers, and I'm going to show you how to create these flowers using 4 different inks here. You will need 3 pieces of Whisper White cardstock big enough to stamp your flowers on, and then you will need the Pacific Point ink pad, the Tempting Turquoise, and the Marina Mist ink pad to start out with. And another thing I recommend is having the Stampin' Pierce mat, because this is a photopolymer stamp set, and sometimes people have trouble with getting the ink to transfer to the paper. And by putting this behind your paper when you're stamping on it, it seems to help people with that little problem. So you're going to start out with stamp number 1, and we're going to want the Pacific Point ink pad. And we're going to ink the stamp in here. And when I also put the roses on my blocks, all 3 roses, I put it so it has this little arrow, which is to help you line up your images as you're stamping. I put this facing straight down in the center to put it on the block. Then it is on there right for each stamp that I stamp over. So once you have that inked with the Pacific Point, you want to turn that just a little bit. And then we're going to stamp, hold it for like 3 seconds, and you'll see the ink transfer to the cardstock. Then you're going to take stamp number 2 and ink that in Tempting Turquoise. And you'll see I put the arrow in the center again to help me get it placed on the block right. And this time, you're going to stamp off onto your scratch paper, and then you want to stamp right on to that image that you already stamped in the Pacific Point. Then you want to take stamp number 3, and we're going to ink that one in Marina Mist. So ink that in there, and then you want to stamp that off onto your piece of scratch paper, line this up, and stamp again. And you're not supposed to get ink on that little tab. I rocked the stamp when I was inking it, so keep that in mind too, not to rock the stamp. Then to get our snow effect, you want to take the white craft stamping pad, and you want to take stamp number 3, and you're going to tap the stamp into the white ink pad, and then we're going to stamp right onto the flower here. And then just press down. And then you've created a snow-covered rose. How cool is that? Fun, right? I know. And then once you have your flowers, you're going to need 3 of those flowers. So then once you have them stamped, you're going to cut all of them out. So you get 3 rose-colored or snow-covered flowers. Now with the leaf, what I did, I'll show you how I did that one too here quick. With the leaf, what you need is the Smoky Slate and the Basic Gray ink pad. And then we'll use that white craft ink pad again. And to start out with, I took stamp number 1 and I inked it in Basic Gray. And then I just stamped onto my paper. And then I took stamp number 2, inked that in Smoky Slate. And that one you're going to want to stamp off onto your scratch paper, and then stamp over your image to faintly color that in. And then stamp number 3, we're going to stamp that into the white ink pad. So then you'll just stamp right over all those colors, creating a snow-looking leaf. Cool, right? I just love this. This is awesome. So easy to do. You can do it. So then once you have all of your leaves stamped, you're going to need 3 of those. You're going to cut them out as well. Just use your paper snips to cut them out. And then you're ready to put them onto the front of your card. So to attach them, I just used some stamping dimensionals. And then I just placed them on here where I thought they would look good. But the first one, when you put it on here, you want to be sure to cover up that glue dot because you don't want that to show. And then the second one, I just layered that right on top of the first one. And I should also mention with the white craft ink, you want to make sure you let that dry, so let it sit for a few minutes so it dries. If you don't want to wait, then use your heat tool to heat set it, because if you accidentally get it on paper on it, it will pick up the white ink. That is a little happy accident I learned a long time ago when I first started stamping. So keep that in mind because of it being the craft ink. And then once you have the flowers on there, you want to take your paper snips and just trim the sides here. Just get a little piece of the dimensional. And then you want to place this onto your card front. And then I just slid these in where I wanted the leaves to go, where I thought they would look the best. There's no really rhyme or reason. So now that's set, I would think it's more like a summer set, but with the roses, you can use those any time of the year. And then make the color combination I have here for you. This is a beautiful wintry color combo. And then once you have that put together, you want to take some Rhinestone Basic Jewels and place them onto your card. So I'm going to put one big rhinestone here, and then I'm going to take a small one and put it over here to the right of just, take another small one and put that up here. And then I'm going to take 2 medium-sized ones and just place them randomly. So there's the front of your card. You can make this card. It is so easy to make. And to me, it's a wow card. So even if you're a beginner stamper, you can do this. It's easy. So now for the inside of the card, I cut one piece of silver glimmer paper at 1/4 inch by 4 1/4. And then we're going to need our stamps again from Timeless Textures, that grid one, and then the little snowflake looking one. And I used the Marina Mist on the inside for the grid stamp. So we're just going to ink that, tap that in there, stamp it off, and then you're going to start stamping onto the card base here on the inside. And I just stamped once, brought it over a little, stamped again, brought it over again, and stamped it. And it just gets lighter as you go by not re-inking it. And then the little flaky looking splotch one that I'm using as snowflakes, I'm going to just tap that into the ink pad, stamp it off. And this one I'm going to stamp off twice because I don't want it to be quite as noticeable. And then we're just going to keep stamping until you have that filled in to how you want it. And then you're going to take that silver glimmer paper and glue that to the inside. And this is just a fun little thing to do to dress up the inside of a card. And this is a great way to use up if you have scraps too. Works great for that. And that is the picture perfect card. Be sure to visit my blog, rubberredneck.typepad.com, to find out how you can get your free card or to purchase all the supplies I used to recreate this card. Thank you for watching.